Yes, guys, we are in the heart of fantasy football draft season, so I'm coming at you today with the running back guide for your drafts. Every single round, the best running back and an honorable mention that you can pick in those rounds. Let's get into it. So last year, in this exact video, this exact thread, I talked about Chase Brown in round 10, 11. I talked about Jahmyr Gibbs in round 1. Yes, this guide includes round 1. A lot of you were fading Gibbs because of David Montgomery, said that he didn't have RB1 overall ceiling. I was kind of on the opposite there, had him as a top 4 player. And finally, Bucky Irving late. I mean, I'm going to take you through 13, 14 rounds here. Bucky was a guy I mentioned just because how mediocre Rachaad White was at the end of 2023. Okay, so let's just jump in to round 1, and we're going to keep it simple. We're not going out on any limbs in round 1 because there are 2 running backs. One is the pick, the other is the honorable mention that truly are better, in my opinion, than every single running back in round 1. All of the other round 1 running backs besides these guys, I think the RBs in round 2 can kind of contend with them. But these 2 players, man, Bijan Robinson is the pick and Jahmyr Gibbs is the runner-up, the honorable mention. I have them a clear tier above every single other running back. So with Bijan, he has the highest weekly RB1 finish rate among all running backs weeks 6 through 18. So to close last season, his final 12 games, finished as an RB1 in 83% of his games. So that is a very, very high floor. I mean, running back 1, 83% of that time. 10 out of 12 games, he was a top 12 running back. Next closest was Jahmyr Gibbs at a nice 69%. And then the list kind of just drops off from there. Now, compared to the other RBs, with Bijan, okay? Bijan versus everyone else. More work than Gibbs. He has a higher floor there in terms of expected touches per game. More experience than Ashton Genty. Less risk historically than Saquon Barkley. And less injury risk, I think we can all agree, than CMC and Achane. Now, all those things I just mentioned as, quote, negatives for the other running backs, I'm actually not that worried about them. All the other running backs I just mentioned I have ranked in the first round. So if we're nitpicking, though, as to why Bijan's the best, those are the reasons. Now we get into round 2, and this guy, man, this is a potential my guy here. The my guy episode will come out in a week or 2, but Chase Brown is on the short list here. Best running back to draft in round 2. And as the Cincinnati running back won last year, the lead RB there, 25 plus total opportunities per game, 85% plus snaps played, 20.6 PPR points, and he was the fantasy RB3 overall. Nothing is changing. Out of camp so far, he's a safety valve for Burrow. He's a focal point of the offense. None of this stuff is changing. He's going to step right back into that role to start the season. I literally think he's like a discount Christian McCaffrey. He led all running backs, 6 targets per game as the starter. Same amount as DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin. Those guys play wide receiver. And the honorable mention in round 2, I do have Josh Jacobs, who might just go ahead and push for 350 touches yet again. All right. In round 3, we've just had a recent injury to the offensive line here. But Omarion Hampton remains my best running back in round 3. I understand he just got into round 3, but I do seriously think that he is the best running back you can draft there. In his last 25 games played, I understand they were in college, but over 100 rush yards per game, over 1 touchdown per game. He averaged 300 plus touches in each of the last 2 seasons. Moral of the story is he's an absolute workhorse ready for an NFL workload. And he got the round 1 draft capital. Similarly, guys like Bijan Robinson, Najee Harris, Jahmyr Gibbs all finished as RB1s in their rookie year with that round 1 capital. Honorable mention, I do have Ken Walker. Hopefully he can stay healthy. Dark horse RB1 overall candidate. In round 4, Alvin Kamara, as unsexy as he is my pick. We talked about Chase Brown before and the 6 plus targets per game. Well, Kamara did that over the course of the entire season. And he did lead all running backs weeks 1 through 18 in targets per game with over 6. He also led all running backs in total receiving yards, and he only played 14 games of the possible 17. So it really is the receiving volume. You can get older as a running back and still produce in the receiving game. And that's where the majority of Kamara's points come from. So I'm not worried about him falling off. The rushing is declining. The underlying statistics and metrics to the way he's running the ball, how successfully he's doing that, are not what they once were, but the receiving is there. I can really see Alvin Kamara getting 18 plus opportunities per game. Last year, 83% of running backs who hit that mark played over 15 games, finished top 12. And he's never finished worse than RB15 in points per game, 8 seasons in the league. Honorable mention here in round 4, if you can figure out the contract stuff, is James Cook. In round 5, I have Trevion Henderson. And I do have a little asterisk next to his name, okay? But I view the Henderson versus Ramondre Stevenson as Bucky Irving versus Rachaad White last year of 2024. Henderson coming in as the only rookie running back with 1,000 rush yards and 200 receiving yards and 7 yards per carry or more last season. He has 0 fumbles lost on 667 career touches. Ramondre is already fumbling in training camp. It really is only a matter of time before he is the lead RB, in my opinion. And the honorable mention in this round is James Conner. Now, with Henderson, the asterisk I wanted to discuss was I don't love starting him in week 1. I think he's a fantastic pick in round 5. I think he probably finishes as a top 20, top 15, dare I say RB1 this year for fantasy. But most of that's going to come in the back half of the season. You need a guy like stinky Ramondre Stevenson, Jaylen Warren, Javonte Williams, J.K. Dobbins, like a week 1 starter who can go in, get you 14 opportunities per game in your RB2 spot, and then eventually you grow Henderson and you grow this next guy we're going to talk about in round 6 for the best running back, Caleb Johnson, on your bench, okay? And you let them develop. You grow them like the little chia pets, and then all of a sudden you have this workhorse running back in week 7, okay? So Caleb Johnson steps into the Najee role here, in my opinion. Elite pure rusher, 18 plus opportunities per game. We talked about that number before for Najee. All right. In 2024, Johnson's advanced stats, 861 breakaway yards, over 1,000 yards after contact. Both were top 4 at the position among running backs. His breakaway percentage on his runs of 56.1% is actually higher than Ashton Genty's. Pretty insane. An honorable mention here is David Montgomery. In round 7, we talked about Kamara as an unsexy pick before. This guy is even less sexy, if I will. And I cringe every time I say that, but like there's no other way to describe it. It's Isaiah Pacheco. Before his injury last year, he only played 2 games, and he averaged 21 opportunities in those games. He's the lead running back right now in the Chiefs offense. They've talked about how they're not super impressed with the other running backs. I mean, it's Kareem Hunt, who's turning 30, Elijah Mitchell, who's played like 9 games in the last 2 years, if that. So Pacheco's going to step in, get instant, meaningful volume in a great offense. Very good RB2 candidate. If he catches a couple passes, 3-4 a game, I mean, you're looking at a top 15 running back for sure. And he's 26. Soon as running backs start to hit 27, we see the decline, so 26 doesn't worry me for Pacheco's age. And he's a good running back too. Another good running back too, as the honorable mention in this round, is Brian Robinson. Now, in round 8, we're kind of just going to continue with these guys who aren't the flashiest names, but it's Jordan Mason in round 8 because he was brought to Minnesota, according to Kevin O'Connell, the head coach, runs the offense. He was brought here, handpicked by O'Connell, okay, for short yardage situations, between the tackle situations, and goal-to-go situations. He is brought in to be a pure rusher. Aaron Jones is very good as an elusive back, out wide, catching passes. Jordan Mason's going to pound the rock. And we're hearing out of camp that it's going to be a 50-50 split. So I'm projecting Mason right now for double-digit opportunities per game in what should be a good offense. This team is going to need the run game with J.J. McCarthy at QB. I don't care if the rookie quarterback is the best rookie quarterback of all time. They have things to learn. They just haven't seen the game yet. So they're going to have to run the ball appropriately and adequately. And Jordan Mason might be the lead rusher in terms of how many times he runs the ball a game instead of Aaron Jones. Mason was a top 10 running back, a clear RB1 last year, backing up CMC. And in round 8, I do have honorable mention Travis Etienne, and I want to throw out another name, Jaylen Warren. I really do like Etienne and Bigsby as picks. I've actually been finding myself drafting Bigsby later than Etienne because I think they're going to split it. I do like Warren in round 8 as an honorable mention. All right. And now we're going to rapid fire rounds 9 through 14. So we talked a little bit about Warren just now in the 8th. He is the number 1 pick in the 9th. I would take him in the 8th, in the late 8th. And I do have the honorable mention of J.K. Dobbins. The reason I like these guys, I talked about it before. They're going to come in, get instant volume. I know that Warren's bye and the Steelers' bye is week 5. I could see a scenario where Warren is a top 20 running back for 4 weeks. The bye happens. Caleb Johnson sees more snaps out of the bye. In my home league, my most important league, I actually own both of them. Did it on purpose. Warren will get the start week 1. And it's very similar for J.K. Dobbins with R.J. Harvey. All right. In round 10, Tyjae Spears is the pick. and the honorable mention is Zach Charbonnet. Both these guys, when they're given opportunity, are very good. A lot of people don't realize last year in the fantasy football playoffs, Tyjae Spears was actually a top 6, top 5 running back. RB1, RB1, RB1 in those 3 games, weeks 15 through 17, and he only played like 60% of the snaps. So if Spears gets 50% of the snaps, a true timeshare, he will be most likely a top 30 back going in round 10, definitely flex worthy. And Zach Charbonnet actually averaged the exact same amount of points as Saquon Barkley did over the course of last season when he was the starter. Ken Walker's already been banged up in camp a little bit. All right. Round 11, 2 names kind of on the opposite spectrum of Warren and Dobbins, but in round 11, we have Dylan Sampson and Jaden Blue, 2 solid rookies. Okay, Sampson is 20 years old. The data shows that 20-year-old rookie running backs get more opportunities, do well with those opportunities, and score more points than any other age, okay? Higher percentage of those guys. Jaden Blue, dealing with an injury right now, I believe, as of today. Didn't expect to talk about that in this video, but we will see. Potentially a little ankle tweak or something. I don't know. Assuming he's fully healthy, he has to get past Miles Sanders and Javonte Williams, 2 injury-ridden career guys, veteran guys. I think he can do it. I think it will actually take longer than most rookies, all right? Because you could have a scenario where Jerry Jones likes Javonte Williams for some reason, okay? But yeah, both these guys could be late season league winners when the veterans in front of them, Jerome Ford, Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, start to break down. In round 12, I talked about him before, Tank Bigsby. I think Bigsby in round 12 is a better value than ETN in the 8th, 9th. I'd actually move ETN out of that spot and, like I said, swap him with Warren. And the honorable mention is Ramondre Stevenson. You guys will see the theme here. If you draft Trevion Henderson in the 5th, Ramondre should be on your team in the 10th, 11th, 12th. Very simple. In round 13, Braylon Allen, who just looks like the second coming of Derrick Henry. And honorable mention in round 13 is Ray Davis, who's lighting up camp while James Cook is not really doing much and complaining about the contract. So if Ray Davis gets the opportunity, 50-50 split even, round 13 is an absolute value. Braylon Allen is also forcing that timeshare with Breece Hall in a similar fashion, although Hall is not sitting out. And finally, guys, in round 14, 2 deep sleepers, but 2 guys to keep your eye on. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, a.k.a. Bill Krosky-Merritt for the Commanders. Brian Robinson, Austin Eckler, they're pretty good. Austin Eckler actually averaged a high fantasy points per touch last year in 2024. 1 half PPR fantasy point per touch was 3rd most among all running backs. But again, Robinson and Eckler over the past 3 seasons have been injured. I don't think Brian Robinson ever played a full season in his career of 3 years. And Eckler hasn't done so since 2019, I believe, off the top of my head. So as soon as one of those guys misses time, Krosky-Merritt's going to step in and get work. And then Keaton Mitchell, guys, in round 14 really is a name that you should know. He should be rostered in your league, whether you're a Henry owner or not. I expect him to get that RB2 role in Baltimore. And with that said, it's a very valuable role because Henry doesn't catch the passes. Derrick Henry is very good when the Ravens are winning games. If for some reason they're level, it's a close game, they're trailing, the running back 2 in the team, sometimes been Justice Hill, whoever it's been, is valuable, especially in PPR. So Keaton Mitchell already crushing it in training camp and in preseason. I just turned the game, I just walked in here to record, but I just watched him score a touchdown on like the second drive of preseason after a 25-yard run. He looks really good. He's very good. Keaton Mitchell in 2023, the last time he was fully healthy, 2nd most fantasy points per touch among all running backs behind only Achane. Like more fantasy points per touch in 2023 than Christian McCaffrey when he dominated. So keep an eye on Keaton Mitchell, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video today. Follow along at NoExpertFF, at JoeAricoFF on X.